Hi everybody, I'm Vicki and welcome back to my kitchen. I've got a recipe tonight that I'm really excited to share with you, so come along with me and let's cook. Okay, I've had these shoes on all day. Let's kick them off. That way you can see me a little bit better. Okay, you know how sometimes you're working on a recipe and it kind of changes as it goes along? Well, I started working on a recipe called squash pie, but it has actually turned into a recipe for keto, low carb dressing. Yeah, I know, dressing's always got bread in it and that kind of stuff, but this one doesn't. And actually, I took the pie to my guinea pigs, and the first thing they said is it kind of resembles dressing, Thanksgiving holiday dressing. So I came home and worked on it and got it put together, and I have a solution for those keto low carb folks who want dressing for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Y'all, this is so good you can use it year round. But I have a couple tricks to make it like dressing. Okay, I've started prepping everything and I'm going to put it together for you, and then I'll come back and show you the finished product. So be sure you're looking at everything that I use, because everything that I use can be found on our Pampered Chef shopping site, and there's a link in the description on the YouTube video, and there is a link on the Facebook post. So having said that, let's get started. Okay, I've got my eggs together and they're room temperature. It's 5 eggs, and I will post the recipe in the YouTube description and in the Facebook post. So you'll be able to, you don't have to write everything down while we're talking. So I have grated some mozzarella. And I actually have 2 cups of mozzarella. And I'm going to put them right in our eggs. And I'm going to pull this bowl over so you can see what I'm doing. Let's get rid of that mat. Okay, I've got our mozzarella in the eggs, and now I roasted 6 squash, 6 medium-sized squash. And yes, I'm using my fingers. So we're just going to put those squash right in with the egg and the mozzarella. These squash are so good done like this. They're not done flat. They're roasted with a little olive oil, a little salt and pepper. And they make a great dish by themselves. But a lot of this you can put together, you can do ahead of time. Heck, let's just pour a little bit of that great olive oil and juice. Okay, now this was the trick when I was working on it. Instead of just breaking it up a little, I use the immersion blender. And this is our Flex Plus. And I'm turning it up. And I am just going to blend it well. don't want it that fine, but I do want it well blended. Okay, that's the last we're going to use this part of the Flex Plus. Now, I have my dry ingredients right here, and in there I have almond flour, tiny bit of xanthan gum, some ground flaxseed meal, and a scoop of Enrichables pea protein. The pea protein helps replace the glutens that you have in there, because this is gluten-free. And it also has some baking powder and some salt in it. So I'm just going to stir in the dry ingredients. You could put the mixer on this, but I really don't want it to be, I still want it to be a little coarse. You know, dressing's got a little texture to it. Okay, I'm going to add a teaspoon of garlic and herb. Now, garlic and herb is in the pantry, along with a lot of other amazing products. I don't like much sage, so there is only a little bit less maybe than 1/8 of a teaspoon of sage. And a teaspoon of poultry seasoning. Okay. That's looking great. Now, if you're a vegetarian out there, this next ingredient is optional, but if you don't put it in, then don't put in the broth. We're going to put in a cup of crushed pork rinds. This is looking so good. You know, I love the holidays. I love baking and making new things. But sometimes it's really hard to stay on track. Over the next month, I'm going to be coming back with a lot of recipes that are good to help you stay on track if you're eating keto low carb. And even if you're not, the recipes can be converted to traditional. Okay, here we have our ingredients so far. Now, you know, traditional cornbread dressing is made with cornbread. You know? So I actually have some cornbread flavoring. And this is 1/4 teaspoon. I'm not going to put much, just wanted a hint to taste like cornbread. Okay. Now, you see me using our prep bowls a lot. They're great when I'm trying to do something to get, you know, put it together for you. Even when I'm not, when I'm getting ready to make something, to have all the ingredients together and just sitting waiting for me. makes my cooking experience so much more pleasurable. And having all these awesome tools from Pampered Chef really helps. Okay, here we go with what we've got so far. Now, we've got to fix the veggies that go in it. Okay, I have some chives and I have some celery. Now, I'll tell you about the celery. The celery, I like to take the strings out before I cut them in strips. And these are some green onions. And these are some red bell peppers. Just cut those a little bit smaller. I'm fixing to put all of the veggies in another part of the Flex Plus. And I forgot to, I'm going to put just a hint of stock. Probably about 1/8 of a cup. Okay, chives. Celery. Those chives go all over the place. I'm pampered, not perfect. And I'm having fun cooking. Let's put our bell peppers in. And more celery. You know, it'd just be easier if I opened it up and put everything in. But you can see how you can load it from the top. I love this Flex Plus. I like not having to worry about cords everywhere. Okay, let's stir it around a little bit. Got some sticking to the sides. Ooh, but it smells so good. Gosh, a little more chopping. All right. Here we go again. I think that's probably done. Let's check it. Oh, wow. I can't wait for y'all to see this. Look at all of the veggies finely chopped. Boy, was that easy. And we're going to put them right in. Okay. Now, let's stir them in. Doesn't that look beautiful? Let's get over here. Okay, I put a couple of tortilla shells in our rectangular baker and pre-cooked them. I put some butter on them and stuck them in the oven for just a little bit. They're not crunchy, but they're set well. And I am just going to pour the ingredients over it. They're going to cover the tortilla shells because I just want them as a base so it's easy to take things out. How do you like our new mixing bowl? I brought this out to go with the Flex Plus. Because it seems like now people don't want you to use glass when you're using mixers. So I'm using our scraper. Have you seen our scrapers? They're amazing. I have one that's over 20 years old and I'm not sure if this is it or not because they all look the same. Pampered products are so great. All right. Here's our dressing, but I'm not quite through. I have one more thing to do to it. Let's put that to the side. And I know y'all have seen me do this before, but I love doing it, so heck, let's just do it. I need some more breadcrumbs, or pork rinds, whatever you want to call it, to go on the top. So I want a little crunchy top. If you've seen me do this before. This is our meat tenderizer. But you can use things for lots of different reasons, a lot of different things. It's good to think outside the box, especially when you're in the kitchen and having fun, you know. You don't have to be right by the book when you're cooking. Okay, I think that's crumbled up enough. Let's see, get this a little more flat. Now while this is cooking, I'm going to come back and show you a little giblet gravy. And by the way, I do have salt in this. It was in the dry ingredients, but I actually salted my squash while I was roasting it. Okay, you know, this is an afterthought. I'm thinking put some cold pats of butter on the top to really make this into a crust on the top. I think I'm going to do that. Hold on a second while I go to the fridge. Okay, I think I'm going to cut some pats just then, cold, and lay them on the top. This should make the crust on the top a little more crunchy, a little more set. So my guinea pigs are getting this tomorrow for lunch. I know they had squash pie last week, but I want them to see the changes that I made this week. And like I said, this is too good just to use during the holidays. Let me know if you make it and how it turned out. For the vegetarians out there, remember to leave off the pork rinds. Everything else is nice and vegetarian. But it's a great way for us to have that taste of traditional Thanksgiving. 'Cause you know, all the memories that are around the holidays, a lot of them deal with food. You know, food triggers all kind of memories, great memories. And here we are. Should have my apron on. But we're going to go put this in the oven, and I'll be back shortly. Okay, so it's time to whip up a little giblet gravy, if you like giblet gravy, to go with our dressing. And I'm not going to be using flour in it. Again, this is a keto recipe, but you know what? It's so good even if you don't cook keto low carb. So I have our broth, and what I did, since I wasn't making a turkey today, I took some turkey wing, 2 turkey wings, and put them in the stock pot and cooked them down. And that's the broth that's left. I put a little bit in the dressing, but here we go with the giblet gravy. Okay, I like giblet gravy, some people don't, and I do put a little meat in my giblet gravy, but you wouldn't have to. I have a little heavy cream. It's about, I'd say it's about a little over 1/8 of a cup. And I've got 4 ounces of cream cheese softened. And I'm going to put it right in. That's going to help thicken it. We'll taste it when it gets further along and see if it needs any salt and pepper. Okay, so I've got our whipping cream, our cream cheese, and our stock. It's probably about 2 cups of stock. No, it's probably about 3 cups of stock. And I'm going to use our immersion blender, but you can also use a whisk. This is our non-stick cookware, and you can use metal with it, although I don't usually with mine. And the handles are removable so that it stores so easily. Okay, but for right now, I'm going to use the immersion blender. I love this thing. Turn it on. blended well. So let's add the other ingredients. I am going to put some chicken in it because I happen to like chicken in my, or turkey in it. I happen to like meat in my giblet gravy. But you know, I tell you all the time that cook the way you like to cook. Change your recipes or my recipes to fit your life. Okay. I don't want it too thin. That's one of the reasons I love this chopper. You can do a coarse chop like I'm doing right now, or you can do a fine chop like I'm going to do in a minute with the eggs, because I don't like to see the eggs. Okay, that's got the meat done. Now, some people are pro eggs in giblet gravy and some are not. I have a sister who absolutely is not, so she would not love this. Whoops. Okay. So I have the eggs and the meat chopped. I don't want to leave any of that good stuff behind. And it's going to go right into our giblet gravy. Then I'm going to put it back on the stove to simmer just a little bit. So I want it to simmer and thicken up. So I'm going to do that, and I'll come back and show you the finished dressing and the giblet gravy. Okay, the dressing is ready now. It smells so good. I can't wait to try it. Hopefully this is going to be a success. Okay. Normally, I would probably let this cool all the way before cutting it. I actually like to cut it chilled, and that way the cuts are really nice and uniform, and because this is egg, it needs to sit a little bit. Actually, I think I would fix this the night before. And here we go. All right. Look at our dressing. Doesn't it look delicious? Okay. Now, I forgot to tell you a couple little things about the giblet gravy. When I put it back on the stove, that's when I added about 2/3, 3/4 of a cup of finely chopped celery. And I also whisked in about probably a little less than 1/8 of a teaspoon of xanthan gum. The xanthan gum helps thicken it. Don't use much of this. Seriously. Okay. Let's go with our dressing, our giblet gravy. Let's put a little bit more. I like meat. Okay. Check out our dressing with giblet gravy. And I'm not going to mess up that piece. I'm going to photograph it in a few minutes. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Be even better once it sets firm and then cut and then rewarmed. That'll do a good job of substituting for dressing. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. That's where you can find the recipes. And when you're on my YouTube channel, click the videos and see the other videos that I've made and put out there for you, and some recipes would be really great for the holiday season. Now, when I say holiday season, most people think of Thanksgiving and Christmas. But you know what? There's a lot of other holidays, and this is too good to only have on the holidays. So come back, check all my other recipes and videos. I've enjoyed being here with you, and please share your beautiful smile with someone today. It'll make their day. It'll make you feel better. Have a wonderful day. Bye.